Gracias, Francisco. And now, very special treat on the ta. Every time I hear this beautiful young woman, Lorna Dee, I have to remember también tu papa, Luis Cervantes, beautiful artist of our times, y también Susan Cervantes. And I have a little anecdote. I had Susan, my grammar school that I went to, it's called Flynn now, it used to be Leonard Flynn, the Lincoln Grammar School. When I was working at the Art Commission, I asked Susan, you know, we got the materials, please, with the murals all over the grammar school. Did you go to that? Somebody, the family went también. Oh yeah. Yeah, the family, right across from Placenta. So, one of the fine poets of the newer generation, Lorna Dee Cervantes.
Gracias. It's great to be here. Thank you all for coming. Woo, these are not for chaparitos. I am here with my heroes and heroines, and I would not be here if it weren't for your words and for your work that you all did, and for your broadcasting. I grew up, I was born in the Mission. My father was here. I would come every weekend. I would go by San Francisco State and watch people, students who looked like me, getting their heads bloodied with billy clubs. Why do they always do that to students? Brain damage, you know. The tear gas, I would see that going by on the bus. I'd be standing there and watching this thing and knowing that it was for me. Knowing that it was for me, my history, my voice, our voice, working people's voices, working people's histories. And it was inclusive. I am a child of the Mission. I am a child of San Francisco. I am a child of the Bay Area. I am a child of the native tribes who were here. Cultures of peace that were decimated. And tolerance. So that you had everybody coming from the four corners, and I always knew that the Mission was a place where I could be a heterosexual butch Chicana y gay. And I came of age in a time when my father, artist, taught at the Mission Cultural Center, taught pre-Columbian art, taught mural, taught painting, taught sculpture, and with everybody else, along with Susan Cervantes. And from the time when I was in junior high school, you know, an adolescent, it was drilled into my head, you do not leave the barrio, you do not leave a place because you don't like it. Because of all those hypodermic needles out there in Presida Park, because of all the shootings out there, you know, because, you know, you were worried about where your kids were and everything else. You were worried about yourself. You know, well, you don't just go away, you know, get a lot of money, get a good job, and get the hell out, right? No, you were born in a place to make it better, to create the vision that you see in your mind with everyone else. And the community that was here, the poets that were here, the voices that were here, the people who were doers, not just writers and artists, but thinkers and doers as well, all together creating this thing. So that we created the vision that we saw. And so, gracias. Gracias, Roberto Vargas, my favorite poet. When I was like a radical 13, 14-year-old socialist poet kid, you know, could totally, you know, relate to that. Thank you, Alejandro, those beautiful publications that allowed me, you know, thank you, Janice and Dani, all the other women's hands that allowed me to use my own hands and to turn on my own press and to figure it out ourselves, Ike. You know, that spirit there. That was a legacy that I am not a part in creating. I am a part of continuing, just as you are a part of continuing. So if you'd like to continue this open mic, be Alley Cat Poet in the Mission. Alley Cat Books, brand new bookstore, 3036 24th Street, 6 at 6, June 6th at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8 p.m. open mic. We will be featuring my two favorite mission poets, new mission poets. Mama Coatl will be saying goodbye to. It'll be your last chance to hear her words and music. Don't miss it. 6 at 6 o'clock, along with Miguel Robles, another young Mexicano poet. Incredible poets. They both had books. Come out and buy them. Support your local bookstore. Come out and be heard. Open mic. 17 reasons why. I remember seeing that sign on 17th and Mission Street, and it always had a question mark. 17 reasons. Why? And I remember being like, not being able to read and stuff and thinking, why? Why? Well, yeah, why? 17 reasons why. So after 20 years away as a professor at University of Colorado in Boulder, I just had to up and quit and come back home for my spiritual and physical health. 17 reasons why. Because the wind smells like jasmine through the pools of dog shit when the people can't afford to feed it. Because you live another day though your dreams are punctuated with the sounds of rusty shopping cart wheels, and destiny smells like frijoles con ajo. Because freedom's just the change in your pocket, and the poor are rich, but nobody feels this. But a smile is the passport, buenas the plane. Because heaven lives on Harrison, and school children skip through the rituals on Valencia, and my mom is not afraid to walk alone under moonlight. Because you are living in interesting times, in interesting ways, as an interesting force, and even the pigeons acknowledge this and are interested. Because destiny doesn't stop here anymore. She took off with mañana, who then eloped into yesterday, and whatever, la reina reigns. Because the corner store will stock anything you want, and the produce is cheaper and better and comes from a local garden where all the bugs have an understanding. Because color chrome is still stored in someone's garaje, and on the door of La Misión, una visión is overheard while the people paint the Constitution into acts of art. Because art isn't a fantasy on 24th Street, and the boleros and beatbox intertwine and harmonize despite themselves, and techno-pop parrots dance la guacamaya. Because buses chug a grime on the windows, which screens out the decay into a magical hope for a sweet breath, sweet life, sweet remembrance. Because charros murmur of horses in la madrugada, and a mother's hands grind into la masa, and the many tongues huddle inside the mouth of the mission. Because food is the universal language, and everyone knows the cost. Curanderos on the corner sell lilies and cure cuando quiera. Because even though the blanched walk through the lives that seem strewn here, They come away with the seeds in their cuffs. They eat their words. Because la palabra is the only currency, and the supermercado of the empty aisle or lucky alley is where a treasury is founded on what others leave behind. Because you leave behind like a husk of dung beetle coming anew, all those webs and pupa puddlings, and everyone's an extinct butterfly rediscovered. Because you uncover the unknown self you knew all along at your neighborhood dive, where every breath is one, and the hips el mundo. Because every head's a mundo, every eye a telescope. Everyone sees what's coming down. The change is going to come because it's already here. The change is going to come.